So, was Spyfall Part 1 a good episode? Well, let's find out. So, Series 12 kicked off with a bang, and a bang it was. This episode was really good. I really enjoyed it. This episode felt like a big action movie. It was really good. I loved the action scenes. It had a good element of comedy. There was a lot of mystery in the episode, and I guess it didn't really get resolved. I mean, this is part 1, so we'll wait and see. But the story was really strong. And one thing I want to point out is that I felt that Jodie was much stronger as the Doctor. To me, it felt like she was more playing the Doctor in this episode than she was in Series 11. Just a couple of little things. I loved the mentions of Unit and Torchwood. As disappointed as I am that the Doctor kind of confirmed that they were gone, it was good to know that they were still hinted in Doctor Who. The monsters were really cool. They were quite creepy actually. And we still don't really know much about them, and I guess we will in part 2, but they were really cool monsters. And as an Australian, I'm very happy to see that the Doctor has finally properly travelled to Australia and spent time there. Doctor Who Series 10 Episode 1 doesn't count. I'll also add that Sir Lenny Henry actually plays a pretty decent villain. One thing I will add is that I also liked the kind of playful sibling relationship between Yaz and Ryan. That it seemed sweet. And the 13th Doctor looks amazing in a bow tie. She looked so good. As much as I love Jodie's outfit as a Doctor, I would not actually mind if she stayed in the outfit that she is going to wear in part 2 and that she wore in part 1. I love seeing Graham and Ryan gamble. That was really funny. Seeing the Doctor play cards was quite funny as well. So they were great scenes. And can I just mention the Doctor on a motorbike? That car chase scene was epic. I loved that. Now let's take a look at that cliffhanger. Oh my god. I did not expect O to be the Master. There were moments at the point when the Doctor started to unravel him a little bit, when they were on the plane, he started saying, like, the Spy Master, I think he said, and that's when I kind of was like, that's why would they call themselves a Spy Master? But that reveal was handled really well. I think that was such a cool reveal, and in those few minutes that we saw him play the Master, I think he did it really well, and I'm excited to see what he does in part 2. So 3 things I loved. I really loved the action. I loved the reveal of the Master, and I loved the 13th Doctor. She just seemed a lot more like the Doctor in this episode. And 3 things that I didn't like about this episode. Honestly, there's not a lot. If I had to pick 3 things that I didn't like, I think one of them would be that Stephen Fry kind of got killed off too quickly. Whether he will come back in part 2, we don't know. But apart from that, that's pretty the only thing that I really didn't like about this episode. I think that from Series 11, Chris Chibnall has stepped up his writing a lot. I think he took the feedback from fans, the negative feedback, on, and he really punched it up a bit. And I think that's great, and I will give him a round of applause for writing such a great season opener. Chris Chibnall, you've redeemed yourself. So, Spyfall Part 1. For my rating, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I think that this episode kicked off Series 12 really, really well, and it's gotten me excited for Part 2 and to see what else this series has in store. I actually enjoyed this episode much more than any of the episodes in Series 11. This is the best episode of Doctor Who there's been in a very long time, and I'm very excited for the rest of Series 12. Join me on Monday because I will be taking a look at Spyfall Part 2, and we'll take a look and see how this epic spy story is going to conclude. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next week.